Welcome to Tinker Tailor Gamer Scribe. So I'm down here on the floor because I decided that in this room, especially at night, if I don't have the light switch or if I don't have the lights on, it is pitch black. There is no light in here whatsoever. So I wanted to come up with kind of a night light situation, so that way there's a little bit of illumination in here in general. So I came up with something that utilizes things that I already have, so I didn't have to go crazy, which is this desk, which houses the 3D printer, which is fortuitous because this project will involve the 3D printer, because that was the other part too, was I realized I had this thing set up and I got some stuff printed on it, but then it's been kind of sitting here for the last couple weeks. So so this is going to be a 3D printing project, but I will be designing the part that I'm printing. So it is going to involve a lot of firsts for me, because the programs involved in actually making 3D objects and stuff are pretty new to me. So this will definitely be a journey. But basically what it's going to come down to is I'm going to make a couple of clips that will hold this light on the back side of the desk like this, and then I will have, they'll sit in here and then just hang on the glass from there to there on both sides, because you can see there's holes on both sides, and then it'll sit like that, and then you can see here that's got a switch, and then I might get fancy down the road and actually like hook it up to like a light sensor or something so that it only comes on in the dark, but that's for another time. But basically I want to be able to hang it like this, but on the back side, and then the light should illuminate this frosted glass and give a really nice effect and be a viable night light basically for the workspace. So yeah, that's what's going to be happening. I'll walk you through the whole thing. So here we go. I need my measuring tape, which I did not grab, but is handy. And basically what I need is the measurement from the center of this, not the round part, but the actual dash, because it'll be a peg that'll slide in so that it stays in place better. But I need the distance between there and the top of the glass so that I know how the size thing I'm working with. So it looks like if I go, it's 1.25 inches almost exactly. So if I'll add another 1/8 to that, so 1 3/8 inches should be just about dead center. And then I should probably get the measurement on that actual peg. So let's see, that's 1/4 inch. And I'll go a little smaller than that because I want it to be in there. And then it looks like it's about 1/4 inch deep too. And those are settings I'll have to fiddle with when I actually design the doodad and print it out, so that everything fits. But so I know it's 1 3/8 inches that I need to cover, like I said, from the top of the glass to this section here. So it'll lock in, and then I can slide it on, and then the clamp will hold the light in place on either side. Okay, so I've got my measurement. Now it's going to be a whole lot of playing around in the object creator, and we'll get to that part when we get to it. I'll see you at my computer. So here we are at the computer. The program you can see here is called Tinkercad. In researching good programs to hopefully build 3D objects to 3D print, this one came up a lot in terms of its ease of use. So this is what we're starting with, and I'm hoping that I can build my little doodad and be able to 3D print it successfully. So I will leave all of the information in terms of like where you can find Tinkercad in the description. Excuse me. And you do need to set up an account with them, but it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And I've messed with this program for all of maybe 10 minutes total in the past. So I'm still getting used to it, but we'll see if we can't make it go. So I took those measurements, and I'm not just going to straight up build the whole thing right now. I'm going to build a test to see, basically I'm going to build a little deal for the peg that will slide into the light and make sure that I've got those measurements right, because I want it to be you know, snug in there but removable in case I need to take them off. And so I don't want to build the whole thing with, you know, the entire clip and then it not work and then have to do the whole thing over again. So I do it just a phase at a time. I figure I can be a little more conservative of my filament, and when I finish the whole thing, I can just print 2 of them and hopefully be done with it. But we'll see how that works out. So yeah, so basically I'm just going to build a little platform to put the peg on. I'm going to make the platform 1 inch by 1 inch by 1/4 inch thick. So if you can see here, I have adjusted my grid to where each square on here is 1/32 of an inch. I figured, you know, have a good degree of control. You can very easily change this with the edit grid button. Like, so you can change from inches to millimeters. You can change the area of the grid, all of that stuff. I don't need to do that because what I'm working with is really small, but yeah, you can do that. And I'm not going to get too into depth in terms of how to use this, because I'm trying to build a doodad, not show you how to use Tinkercad, if that makes sense. But I can only imagine. I didn't look any up, but I'm sure there are tons of tutorials online if you want to, you know, if you want to get some help figuring this program out if you use it yourself. But I'd rather kind of crash course through. So yeah, let's get started. I think I'll start with a box. Okay, and then we will select the height. So it is currently 1 inch, and it looks like it's going to be 1 inch. Yeah, it's 1 inch on all faces, which is fine because we wanted to be 1 inch by 1 inch by. Let's cut this down to 0.25. Which will be our 1/4 inch, just like that. And then yeah, you can see here it's just a 1 inch square by 1/4 inch, and then in the center of that, I am going to put our peg, and that will be a cylinder. That will be obviously a little narrower than that. The measurement I took for the gap is 1/4 inch, so let's do a 32nd less than 1/4 inch. And now that we're in the right neighborhood, 1/4 inch. Inch. Okay, and then we want to do 1 step bigger than 1/4 inch. Okay, so there's our 1 step bigger than 1/4 inch. In terms of total length, I don't think we need it to be 1 inch long. Let's go with 1/2 inch. And you know, and the reason why I'm going with 1/2 inch because the peg itself doesn't need to be 1/2 inch, but when I move this, see it fits. It'll fit inside our cube. Yeah, there we go. It's pretty much, you know, it's pretty close, but not quite center. That should be good enough. Okay, so now our peg is 1/4 inch sticking out. Actually, I'm going to go up a step from that just to just to make sure. And then basically on top of that, we'll want a bigger peg so that when it slides into place, it will actually stay. So we want another cylinder. And I'm sure there's an option to just copy and paste that smaller one and adjust from there, but I don't want to try and figure that out yet. I will probably end up using this program quite a bit, so I will get better at that, but for right now, I think, okay, so 281, what is bigger than, oh wait, oops, let's go with 3/8. Come on, there we go. 3/8 is bigger than that, and then we'll do, how about 1/8 of an inch. Then we'll put that. How do I move it off? Oh, here we go. So we want this so it'll fit right above it. There we go. With a little bit of overlap so that we know it'll be connected when we print it. Oh, no, I don't need to tilt it. And I don't need to turn it. How do I move it? I guess there's no... We'll get it figured out. So close. Come on. Oh gosh, why are you doing this to me? Come on. Whoa, that moved it a lot. See, does this have an undo? It does. All right. So let's go. All right, it's not perfect, but it should hold it in there, don't you think? Yeah, I'll look and see if there's a way to like center it automatically and do that kind of thing so that it will be proper, but I do believe that might be, yeah, no, I'm worried about it. Let's see if we can't get that to center. Where are our options? Okay. Well, maybe it doesn't have a centering. This is a really simple one, so maybe it just doesn't. Okay, so maybe this is what we need.
Nope, I think those are just visual references. Okay. Well. That is a conundrum, isn't it? Maybe. There we go. Now I can see both of them. Maybe it'll make it a little easier for me to center this thing. Oh, no, no, I don't want to move that one. I want to move this one. Maybe I can make it go to 1/64th, and maybe the movement's a little bit finer. There we go. Okay. There was the trick I was looking for. Okay, so now that is centered. I'm sure I could center it in the square too, but it's not that big a deal because we just need it to be, I want it to be 1 inch by 1 inch to just see whether or not that's going to be enough meat for the bracket part that'll hold on to the glass. I have a feeling I might go wider than that, but 1 inch is a good place to start. I think, though, that we have a good testing point for that peg. So let's see here. How do we? Okay, let's try export everything in the design. And let's go with an STL. And oh, I didn't change the name of it. That's okay though. Save file. Okay, and we'll put that edge right on. No, let's go with Cura projects because that is where it will end up anyway. Okay, and save. All right, so there's going to be a jump cut, but then the jump cut will put us in Cura, and then we'll do a G-code and see if we can't 3D print us up a testing peg for my bracket. All right, be right back.